Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 27th November 2024. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. And first, let us start with finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Starting from half-yearly time frame, stocks near half-yearly demand zone. We didn't find any stocks. Next, half-yearly time frame, stocks near a half-yearly supply zone, we got one stock. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. I request you pause the video, study the report, and then proceed further. In case if you don't understand how to study this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got two stocks. Next quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got three stocks. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got five stocks. Next monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. We got seven stocks. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 16 stocks. I'm scrolling the list down. Next time frame is daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Are there any high liquidity daily demand zones? Yes. We got one high liquidity daily demand zone from this list, Manapuram. Okay, next for daily time frame, stocks near daily supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Let us verify high liquidity daily supply zones. And it is a pierced zone, leave it. This is also a pierced zone, leave this. So we got one valid high liquidity daily supply zone, that is Pidilite Industries. Okay. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Next 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Let's verify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones. We have ACC and Petronet. So we got 2 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Next 75 minutes time frame. Let's find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. 11 stocks are filtered. Let's identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. We got one stock, Navin Fluorine. So this is about high liquidity zones. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next 15 minutes time frame. Stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next 5 minutes time frame. Stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. This is about stocks near demand and supply zones. Next report is about NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let's start with Nifty 50 from monthly time frame. So monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So this is the chain. Always look into the zone column to find high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Follow these rules for the remaining reports. Okay, next. Generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 125 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 75 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 25 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 15 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 5 minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. For more demand zones, I am scrolling the list down. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, let us generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. I am generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, I am generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty, BANKNIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 125 minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 75 minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. And the last time frame is 5 minutes, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. So next reports are about bullish and bearish trade setups. First I am generating bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bullish. This daily demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the entry time frame daily demand zone should not be pierced. And entry zone zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and hands score should always be greater than or equals to 12. All the three filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter the stocks. We got 16 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry zones are daily demand zones. All these are all daily demand zones. Out of these 16 daily demand zones, there could be some high probability supported zones might be available. So let's find them based on some filters. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That means daily demand zone should be part of the weekly demand zone. So I am selecting the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 8 stocks. That means in all these 8 stocks, the daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up. Weekly means ITF time frame. So the ITF trend, weekly trend is up. If any of these weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup stocks because daily zone is part of the weekly zone. So in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, I am selecting daily demand zone. Sorry, I made a mistake. Weekly demand zone, because the daily demand zone is part of the weekly demand zone. So weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, I got 4 stocks. So these 4 are even more high probability setup supported stocks because the entry time frame, all these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone, and that weekly trend is up, and all these weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence. So we got 4 high probabilities trade setup related stocks. Okay, next filter is based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence, all the 3 time frames. For that we need to remove this EMA filter, and then in the demand zone confluence we need to set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly demand zone confluence. Next filter is the second filter, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence, we got only 1 stock. So in this stock, daily demand zone is part of the weekly demand zone. Both together again part of the monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up. If this monthly demand zone is having monthly EMA confluence, this stock could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, monthly time frame, monthly demand zone is having monthly EMA confluence. So we did not have it. But that stock is even high probability because that is having weekly demand zone, weekly EMA confluence. Okay, next trade setup is a bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily, entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bearish this daily supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at a daily time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement is violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score is 12. All the three filters are applied to daily supply zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got only 2 stocks. Currently we have only 2 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frames are daily supply zones. Let's find if any of these daily supply zones are having high probability support based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. I am selecting a daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence filter. With this filter, we got both the stocks. In both the stocks, that these daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down. If any of these stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability setup supported stock. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF confluence. Out of those stocks, I am removing this EMA filter. Out of those 2 stocks, how many are having LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence? Daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence is already enabled. Now I am enabling daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence and the weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 1 stock. Already this stock is having weekly EMA confluence, weekly zone. Now monthly zone also let us verify. EMA confluence at monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. Oh, this is even more high probability. Even monthly zone also having monthly EMA confluence. Weekly zone is also having weekly EMA confluence. Okay, now let's generate the next trade setup. Bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes entry time frame. I am selecting bullish. This 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Currently these 8 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Now let's find out of these 8, there could be some high probability setup supported stocks. We need to find them. The first filter should be based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this, we got 7 stocks out of 8, 7 stocks. That means in all these 7 stocks, the 75 minutes entry demand zone is part of the daily demand zone. They are overlapped with daily. And daily means ITF. And the ITF trend is up. So if these daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, because 75 minutes entry zone is part of the daily demand zone. And daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. And both these stocks are even more high probability setup demand zones because 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone and this daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. Now 3 filters we need to set in the demand zone confluence. First filter is already enabled, daily with 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Next 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence and daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. All the 3 filters are enabled. With this LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we got 5 stocks. In all these 5 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone, both together again part of the weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in all these stocks except the first one. So the remaining 4 stocks, if any weekly EMA confluence is there, that is even more high probability setup supported stock. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, because 75 minute zone together with daily are part of the weekly zone. So weekly zone with weekly EMA confluence, weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 4 stocks. In all these 4 stocks, the 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone, both together part of the weekly demand zone. Weekly trend is up in all the 4 stocks, and also they are having weekly EMA confluence. They are even more high probability trade setup related stocks. So this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I have selected bearish, and this 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement is violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes supply zone. So let's verify. We got 6 stocks. Currently these 6 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. The entry zones are 75 minute supply zones. In all these 6 75 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability supported trade setups might be available. We need to find them. So the first filter is based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. So with this filter we got 6 stocks. That means in all these 6 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. Because 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone, and also daily trend is down. That is nothing but ITF trend. So we can look for daily supply zones with daily EMA confluence. Let's verify EMA confluence at a daily time frame. Daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, because 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone. That's why we are looking for daily EMA confluence. We got 3 stocks, and these 3 stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Okay. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. So we need to set 3 filters for supply zone confluence: LTF, ITF, HTF. First filter is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence is already enabled. Next, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence, and daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence filters also enabled. With all these 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, the entry time frame 75 minute supply zones. All these are all 75 minute supply zones. They are part of the daily supply zone, both together again part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in the first and third stock. If they are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup stocks. Let's verify. Weekly in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, because 75 minutes and daily together part of the weekly supply zone. So weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, enable the filter. With this we got 2 stocks. So the second one trend is sideways, weekly trend, that is HTF trend. So first one is high probability trade setup. So this is about bearish trade setup for a weekly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for a daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. This 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, and zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score should be 12. With all the three filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone, we got 14 stocks. So currently these 14 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry zones are 15 minutes demand zones. All these are all 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 15 minutes demand zones, there could be some high probability trade setup stocks. We need to find them. First filter is based on LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 13 stocks. In all these 13 stocks, the 15 minutes demand zone is part of the 75 minutes demand zone. If any of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, there are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, in 75 minutes time frame, 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. There are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. We need to remove EMA filter. And then supply zone confluence, we need to set 3 filters. One filter is already, demand zone confluence, not supply zone. The demand zone confluence, first filter is already enabled, that is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Next filter is 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence, and also 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence, we got 2 stocks. In all these, in both these 2 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone, both together again part of the daily demand zone. Okay, daily means HTF. In HTF, if any of these stocks are having second one sideways trend, but first one is having a daily EMA confluence, the daily demand zone with daily, it could be even more high probability setup stock. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, because the 15 minutes demand zone together with 75 minutes demand zone, part of the daily demand zone confluence. Now that demand zone is having a daily EMA confluence. Let's verify how many stocks we get. We got MMDC, but trend is sideways, so it does not give any extra advantage, because EMA confluence makes sense in the trending market, not in ranging. Ranging means sideways. Okay, next let us look for bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. This 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 15 minute supply zone is not pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score 12. All the 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. So with these filters, we got 5 stocks. Currently, these 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. The entry zones are 15 minute supply zones. In these 5 15 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability setup stocks are available. Let's filter based on LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. So in the supply zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, the 15-minute supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone. And the 75 minutes trend is a downtrend, that is ITF trend. If any of those 75-minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, 75 minutes time frame, 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we did not get any stocks. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Remove the EMA filter. We get LTF, ITF, HTF confluence. That is 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence is already enabled. Next 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. And a 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got only 1 stock. So in this supply zone, this is a 15-minute supply zone. This 15-minute supply zone is part of the 75-minute supply zone. Both together again part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is a downtrend, HTF trend, weekly trend is a downtrend. That's why if this weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA confluence, that could be even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, not weekly, it is daily, because 15 and 75 minute zones, supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. So that's why in the daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled. So the stock is having a EMA confluence. The daily zone is having daily EMA here in the EMA confluence. Daily time frame, daily EMA confluence, the supply zone is having. The daily supply zone with daily. It is a more high probability trade setup supported stock. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. So first 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks listed in F&O companies. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. After that you can proceed further. I am scrolling the list down. This is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's meet again in our next video. Thank you.